one thing that I do know and I've learned throughout the years is that this format of competition, the best always rise to the top. So, I did it with UFC, we did it with Power Slap, and now we're doing it with Jiu-Jitsu. It's funny because I've been in this almost 30 years, and Jiu-Jitsu is the reason that me and the Fertitas got into the UFC. That's how we got into it. And anybody that has ever done Jiu-Jitsu knows that when you start doing it, it becomes addictive. It's a very addictive martial art. And it's funny that we're just getting into it now, but the timing just seems perfect for us and where we are. And we've been talking about this for a few years, and now we're finally got it all. We finally got our shit together, and here we are.
Are the fans are they at a level now where maybe 10 years ago you would have said, oh, they don't really understand the sport, they don't understand Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Are the fans like knowledgeable enough now, guys, that they that if there's not somebody being brutally knocked out, that there's still enough interest that they want to watch these competitions, and that and they are actually interested in the Jiu-Jitsu, and again, not just watching somebody get knocked out with the punch?
Well, I think the difference is this, is that, again, I'll use Power Slap as an example. I saw this on Instagram in 2017 and 18. There was a very limited amount of people that were, participating in it in Russia and in Poland. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has been around for a very long time, and there are millions of people who participate in it. So there is a massive fan base already for Jiu-Jitsu. And we want to make it even more mainstream. I mean, when I was growing up, your parents would put you in karate or taekwondo or something like that.
Dana, I am a taekwondo black belt, Dana.
There you go. Your parents would put you in jiu-jitsu these days. That's the
Right.
that's the martial art everybody would put their kids in.
Right, right. Claudia, what's it been like for you to have had so much success in the UFC, and now you're an executive within the company, and you've got this, and this new thing here on the horizon, super exciting. What's that transition been like for you to go from an athlete to now an executive?
It's super badass. I'm learning a lot about business from Dana and the whole team here in the
Yeah.
UFC. But I grew up in a small little town in the northeast of Brazil, and jiu-jitsu was my vehicle, my opportunity to get out of poverty. And through jiu-jitsu, I got into MMA and then eventually into the UFC, and I had an amazing career in the UFC. But there's so much life outside of fighting, and when I started working here, I saw the opportunity to work with jiu-jitsu, and jiu-jitsu it's a sport, Dana just said, has been around for so long. It's 100-year martial art that people love. It really changes your life when you start training Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And I really wanted to put all my energy into this whole jiu-jitsu strategy into the UFC, because this sport has the potential to be massive, but it's not organized yet to the point where it's a sport where everybody wants to watch. And the UFC definitely has a blueprint to turn athletes into superstars. And the UFC knows how to build a sustainable business. And I think that's what jiu-jitsu needed.
I think obviously, and this has been proven that when the fighters and their personalities and the trash talk and the rivalries, that adds so much to the fights and to the fan interest. Is that the idea with having the YouTube show? Sort of like like a vertical, or sort of alongside the BJJ events, that you will know the people competing, you do know their personalities, you are aware of the rivalries. Is that the idea, to sort of build interest and then to get as many possible people watching the actual fight nights as possible?
Yeah, I think so, and to educate people on this, the sport of jiu-jitsu, who these guys are, and to sort of organize it. When you think about it, if you know anything about jiu-jitsu, there's tons of tournaments that go on all over the world. There's big ones. There's real money involved, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to come in and take, you can be considered one of the best in the world, but you can come fight the best at the UFC and win a world title. You'll be a world champion. Everybody will be ranked, and put some structure to it.
Dana, will there be any crossover between the two promotions? I mean, with the MMA and with the BJJ, or is it going to be, you're going to be one or the other, and you're not going to be a UFC fighter who does BJJ and vice versa?
they all do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and a lot
Right.
of our fighters, people don't realize,
Yeah.
compete in a lot of these tournaments. So,
Yeah.
and let me tell you what, there's a lot of other people out there too. Like
Yeah.
there's actors and athletes, and you'd be surprised. I mean, Zuckerberg has competed
Yeah.
in tournaments. Mario Lopez competes in
Yeah.
tournaments. Tom Hardy competes in tournaments. So this is a spot anybody could come and compete here in jiu-jitsu.
Getting Mark Zuckerberg, that would be a hell of a get. You obviously are on the Meta board. Have you talked to Mark about this? Have you tried to say, hey,
Yeah, yeah,
Mark?
yeah. We talk a lot about fighting, obviously, but yeah. I mean, if Mark keeps training and competing and whatever, he could literally come here and fight in UFC BJJ, 100%. Tom Hardy, Mario Lopez, and many other actors that are really good jiu-jitsu guys that nobody knows about.
That would be absolutely awesome. Claudia, who is the best in your mind? And if you want to separate it by sex, that's completely cool. Who do you think are the greatest BJJ practitioners who have fought in the UFC and had success in the UFC?
You mean would have success in
Yeah, in the UFC, people who have had a base in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, who have then obviously gone on and had a lot of success in the UFC, not necessarily been champion, but who have been really good MMA fighters who came from the world of BJJ.
There is a couple. There's a bunch actually, but we have Gilbert Burns that it's a couple times world
Yeah,
champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that has an amazing career in the UFC. Rodolfo Vieira, even Alex Pereira is a
yeah.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt that people don't know. So Glover Teixeira, I think almost every top contender in the UFC is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.